Terry was, I mean, not that he has a choice, but was Murph all right with it, with moving to third base in this instance? I know he's played in a couple of years.
Kevin, he was very okay, and by the way, he did have a choice. You know, I'm not gonna put somebody in a position they don't wanna play. I talked to Dan today, he said he knew when the game was over, when David was going down, that that might be brought up. He was fine with it, he has no issues at all, he knows he can play there. What he wants to do is play, and he wants to win games. And he said, I know this probably gives us our best chance, and I said, that's exactly why we're doing it, so he was perfect with it.
Terry, internally, apart from the players, but just as an organization, was this scenario discussed during the time Murph was on the disabled list with the thought that, you know, if it's still going to be bothering David, this is something you might want to take a look at doing, as opposed to this all having come together last night?
No, it was not, as far as I know, it wasn't discussed by us. Certainly in the coach's room, it was, you know, we actually thought David was gonna finish the year, especially we started to swing pretty good. I mean, he started to get some balls centered on the barrel and showing some power, certainly extra base power, and so we had not considered it. Matter of fact, the talk was, what are we gonna do when Murph gets back? How are we gonna manage his playing time because of the leg in the middle of the infield, and yet get Herrera some playing time? Just, this is how it worked out.
And with regard to Murph, are you expecting to just be able to roll him out there every day? Is there anything you'll do to manage what he just dealt with?
Well, one of the things I explained to him, I thought his legs certainly isn't gonna take the wear and tear he would at second base. You know, going off for the cutoffs and relays, backing up the bases, you know, stuff around the bag. He's gotta, you know, get away from runners and all the other things. It'll be a little different at third, and so I said, you know, I think that certainly we'll check with each and every day of how your leg's doing, but I think it'd be able to, you know, get more playing time, and certainly we won't have as many concerns with you at third base.
Yeah, Mike.
Terry, I know you're not feeling this way because you know David Wright's situation and everything else that we deal with on a daily basis, but is there something to wake me up this morning and maybe look at the standings and see that you guys are really only 5.5 games out of a playoff spot? As much of a long shot as that might be to see, you know, that number?
Well, Mike, we're pretty excited about it, to be honest. I mean, I said it all along. You got to make September mean something. September can be a real long month if you're not playing for something. And you know, we brought it up to the guys that they're not out of the hunt yet. Just because we're 10 or 12 or 13 games back in the division doesn't mean we're out of the hunt. We've got something to play for. We've got a tough schedule ahead with 7 games with the Nationals, and you know the Braves obviously are going to be clawing and scratching when we play them. So it should be fun, and that's the only way when you come to the ballpark to play for something. So we've talked about it. We're going to talk about it tomorrow again. The importance of that series starting tomorrow, but tonight it's about winning tonight. I told some of the guys today, and that's what I told Murph. Listen, you know, I gave Lucas Duda today. I talked to Travis. Travis probably needs another day. He's getting beat up back there pretty good, but I said we got to win tonight's game. This game is you know, it's important to win every game you can at this particular moment because we are in the hunt.
Over here.
Terry, piggybacking on that, you take a look at what's transpired this year's Mets injuries, a couple of guys underperforming early. You're 6 games better now than you were at this time last year, and 500's reality possibly. How important is that 500 number to changing internal perception as well as external perception?
Well, I'm not gonna. Again, I hate to put numbers on anything, you know, because if you don't reach them, all of a sudden it's a real failure. So all I've told the guys is, listen, we just got to go out and play as best we can and execute. You know, keep your heads about you. Don't get carried away with, you know, 2 or 3 in a row. Let's win 8 out of 10. Let's get, you know, we're in the race. We're back in the playing for something that matters. But don't think that, you know, hey, look, we got to be at 500 at the end of this year. You know, there's no reason why we can't go out and win the last 16. You know, go 10-6 and see what happens and see where you are. But what we got to do is we got to worry about tonight.
Yeah, Josh.
Terry, can you talk some more about Darnell? I know it's kind of circumstantial in some ways. He's in cleanup tonight. 3 months ago, he was kind of tucking tail back down to AAA. Now, last couple of months, he's top 10 in the whole league in slugging percentage. As you mentioned, he gets beat up back there. Has he showed you even more than what you thought you might see out of him these last couple of months?
No, well, there's no question. I mean, when we sent him down, we weren't sure what we were going to get. You know, how he was going to handle going to AAA. As he told me the day we sent him down, you know, he said, the only person I'm mad at's me. He said, I looked in the mirror and really upset the way I played up here, and he said, you know, I gotta fix it. And he went down and did it. A lot of guys would go down there and pout for a few days, he did not. He went down there and hit a home run his first game, because he wanted to get back here, and he's carried it right into the game. Obviously, he's a young guy yet, there's a lot of things everybody's gotta get better at when you're young, but I'll tell you one thing, he wants to play. I talked to him today, he's got a couple of issues that are going on. I said, I need you in the lineup. You know, David's not in there, I'm gonna give Lucas, desperately needs a day off. I said, I can't have you out of lineup today. Matter of fact, I got you hitting fourth. That's how well you're playing. So he said, I'm ready. And you know, that's the things you like to see out of young players.
Skip, Mark Saddle, Rockies TV. Can you give me your thoughts on Latroy Hawkins as he approaches a milestone of 1,000 games on the mound and managing Latroy?
Well, first of all, that is a tremendous milestone for a guy to stay healthy that long and do all the different roles he's done. It's a tremendous milestone for. I remember last summer when he was here, we talked about what 930 or whatever he was looking at the time. It was going to be a big thing. It was going to pass one of his buddies, and you know, he was talking about retiring, and here he is looking at 1,000 appearances, even more to come, and it's certainly well deserved by one of the true great guys that I've ever had on a team. We wish him all the best when he leaves here.
Is it pretty firmly decided already that this is a spot start for Rafael Montero and his next appearance will be in the bullpen, or there's some scenario where he could have another start right after this?
Adam, we aren't sure what's going to happen. The one thing we want to stay away from is 7 days for some of these guys between starts. Now that with the streak we're on right now, obviously you could come back in 6 days and still we're still in that mix. But I don't want to disrupt somebody by giving them too many days off. So after tonight, we'll sit down and discuss what the next situation is going to be for Rafi. It could be in the bullpen. It could be, you know what? Hey, look, we're going to need we want to leave him where he's at, and we'll write out an extra day for somebody.
Terry, you have Den Decker tonight? Den Decker?
Maybe.
Was it pretty sore? Or?
It's pretty sore. Again, I don't want the guys across the field to know who we have and who we don't have. It's already in the headlines. We don't have David, so that's a big enough headline. So it's pretty sore today.
Any last ones, guys?
So Travis, you mentioned he has a few issues. I mean, is it anything that concerning or?
No, it's just wear and tear.